Hey world, it's Jen Taylor with the Christy Reese Group. I am coming at you live today. It is Thursday. What is the date today? February the 11th. Just so happy to be here. I am the lucky one who is going to host your weekly Keeping It Real with the Christy Reese Group. Every week we like to bring you what's new and what's latest in the marketplace on the world of real estate, but also in the world of our community. And we're just very proud citizens of Grand Junction and the Grand Valley and Mesa County and Western Colorado. And we love to share our enthusiasm. So here I am. So let's talk a little bit. So we'll start off with some news. I'm coming at you, by the way, live from my home, from the safety and quiescently sealed parameters of my home. So I'm not wearing a mask as a result. So first thing I'll mention is be sure to check out our Business Spotlight series. We're hosting and posting every week a local business, a local community business that is independently owned and operated. Every Friday, usually those videos are posting and they're really fun. I did one myself with Christy, with Nick Santos, the owner of Cafe Soul. That posted a few weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. Got to wear the aprons and get behind the scenes and the whole bit. Last week we highlighted Garden of Eden, and this week we're going to talk to Maria at Out West Books down on Main Street. We just love that independent bookstore. Yay for independent bookstores. Let's talk a little bit about CMU, Colorado Mesa University. Big news, President Tim Foster, who's been with CMU for something like 17 years, has announced that he is going to move away from his presidency. He's still, I'm sure, going to be involved. We're congratulating him on behalf of making a big announcement to retire and move on with his life. So he's left us and left our university in a much better place, and we're very thankful for the work he's done. And speaking of the Foster family, I had the great opportunity of interviewing his brother Mike for our podcast, our Full Circle podcast earlier this week. We had a great conversation. We talked about Mike having spent time in Russia. He was on an archaeological dig in Russia. He lived in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a little while. He went to a couple different schools and got his graduate degree, undergrad and graduate degree in Colorado, and also went to school in Wyoming. And we talked about commercial real estate, and we talked about what all is happening on behalf of warehouse and retail and office space, and how things are changing and shifting in the Grand Valley, and how well our valley and our county is poised in the state of Colorado. Actually, we're poised in first place. Out of all of the counties in Colorado, Mesa County is actually strongest in terms of our unemployment rate compared to where we were before COVID, pre-COVID, and where we are now and where we're projected to be. And so we've got a very strong community here, and we're proud of one another. And it was just really fun to talk with Mike and hear again about commercial real estate. So listen for that. That's going to post next week. Let's talk a little bit about a couple properties of the week. Okay, so we have not very many properties. There just is not everybody's heard the same old story. There just are not a whole lot of listings, not a whole lot of inventory, buzzword, industry word. In the marketplace, there are a lot of buyers. There are not as many sellers. And if you have considered selling your home, I'll tell you what, now's a great time to sell it. And a lot of people are holding back. They're hesitating to sell because they know that there's not a whole lot out there to replace their property with. But we have a lot of tools in our quiver, arrows in our quiver that, hi Christy, cha-cha, that we can use to help you and navigate that. This is what we do. We can run parallel both on the buy side and on the sell side at the same time and make sure that you land with your feet on the ground and smoking tires right away. So that's what we do. Anyway, let's talk about a couple of properties that are available on the market right now. We just actually had a price reduction on a really unique property, a little over 5 acres. The address is 1137 23 and a half Road. My colleague Chris Myers has this listing. It's now listed at $499,000. It's a little over 5 acres. Like I said, it's got a 2,709 square foot building on it it was built as a shop, but they've converted some of it to some living space. So it's actually got 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It's a great place for the person who wants to have a place to live and work and then potentially build a home. And I believe there are some there's some conversation with that. I think that they've might have some plans actually for residents, so that they might also include. So $499, that's a great price, and it's a really unique property. Again, 1137 23 and a half road. If you're curious, look it up on ChristyReece.com, ChristyReece.com. I'll give you our phone number and address for our office at the end of this as well. Another listing that has just recently gone live. This is one of Christy's listings. My colleague Christy, our namesake, our fabulous leader. She's got 2 commercial lots in Orchard Mesa. They're contingent upon being sold together, so they're individual addresses, but they need to be sold together. The list price is $595,000. The addresses are 2710 and 2712 Highway 50. So 2710 and 2710 or 12 Highway 50. List price for both of those is $595,000. Almost 1 acre, 0.96 acres, 630 square feet of office space. All utilities to the lot. It's a great location, sandwiched with roads on both sides. So give us a shout if you're curious. Again, ChristyReece.com is our address, our web address, and both of these listings are online. Couple things. So now let's get to our hot topic for the day. Let's talk about mistakes buyers make. And really, there's no such thing as a mistake. And really, ideally, there are no mistakes that a buyer is making because they've already selected a fabulous real estate agent to help guide them. That's the whole point. That's what we do. We advocate, we steward, we guide. We're very fortunate to be in the position to support people when they're making this, when they made the decision to either buy or sell. But let's talk about some things, or maybe let's call them assumptions that buyers might make, or missed opportunities. A couple of things. One of the first things that you always want to do is get pre-qualified. So really, your agent is kind of step number 2. The first person that is really important to get pre-qualified. We can help you. We can guide you to a trusted and qualified lender who will be right there at your disposal. They're local. It's really important to work with local lenders. Don't go, I shouldn't tell you what not to do in terms of going national. That's a resource as well, but it's always preferred to go local. Work with a local lender and work with a mortgage lender because that's what they do. That's all they do. That's their number one and only product. And that makes you their focused customer versus a bank that does a lot of different things. So depending what the product is that you're looking for, a local mortgage lender is really who you want to work with. So reach out to any of us as agents, and we can guide you to the right place. But once you're pre-qualified, then you're empowered, and that's the important thing. If you're ready to start looking at houses, but you don't have that pre-qualification step yet, you're really not ready. And shame on us for wasting your time, because what happens is you might find something that you really love, and in this market where we've got less than 30 days of inventory, really, I'll pause right there to say less than 30 days of inventory. 6 to 7 months of inventory is a balanced buyer-seller market. We're far from that right now. So we don't have, it's definitely a seller's market. So we want to prepare you, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer. We want to make sure that you've got all of your ducks in a row before we start looking at houses or properties. So that's thing number 1. Work with your lender, get pre-qualified, and then let's go. That's what we're here for. So again, we can guide you on that road. Buying a house that's more than you can afford is a mistake. It's maybe a missed opportunity. It's an oversight. Sometimes people make because their eyes are bigger than their wallets, maybe. And to be house rich and cash poor is never a position that we want anybody to be in. So you might qualify for a number, but your comfort level and backing into that with your monthly mortgage payment, we want to make sure that you're staying well within your means. And we want to make sure that we're supporting you and your lifestyle so that you can travel and you can play and you can, make sure that you've got the money to do the things that you really want to do and are meaningful for you outside of your home. So don't go too big on your home. Even though you might be able to, we really encourage you to stay within your means. That's really important. Okay, so that's thing number 2. Stay within your means. Make sure you buy a home that's within a reasonable price point. And a reasonable mortgage as a result. Going back to the lender side, your credit score. So when you talk to a lender, one of the first things that they're going to talk to you about is your credit score. And if you're now at a point where, okay, you've done all the right things, you've started talking with a lender first before you started talking with a real estate agent and or started looking at homes, but and you've got to make a decision, or you're coming up on the end of your lease or your rent or terms or something like that, but your credit score isn't ready. Well, that might have been a missed opportunity to start that process earlier. It's never too early to start talking with a lender, and make sure that your credit is in a place that is healthy and is ready for you to achieve the type of house and the bracket that you want to search in. So make sure that you start earlier with that process, and make sure that you flesh out your credit score. A good lender will give you strategies and tips, tactics to work on getting your credit score to a point where it needs to be for you to be able to buy the home that you want to buy. So it's very important, because it's going to save you money, it's going to save you time, it's going to get you a lower interest rate. All those things are very important, and that will help you with your down payment. And speaking of down payment, let's talk about another one. You're going to need to save some money. You're going to need to have a little bit of money set aside in preparation for your purchase. And a down payment is one of the cash out of pocket requirements when you close on a house. You're going to have an upfront cost of your escrow money. You're going to have a little bit out of pocket for your inspection, and you're going to have closing costs, and you're going to have a down payment. So there are kind of four things that come up during when you're purchasing a house. So make sure you've got some money set aside. When it's time, start saving. And anymore, you can buy a house with as little as 3% down. There are some down payment assistance programs as well. 5% is pretty popular these days. At 20%, then you offset your mortgage insurance. So that's a handy threshold as well. So with interest rates so low, it's a great time to borrow money. Money is cheap, as they say right now. So it's a good time to do that. So make sure that you set some cash aside. Start preparing sooner than later. Let's see, getting the wrong kind of mortgage, getting the wrong kind of loan. Make sure you work, again, this goes back to the lender. Make sure you're working with that lender to make sure that you get the right program for you. There are all kinds of different programs out there, and every person's journey is unique and beautiful, and we make sure that you get lined up with the right mortgage program. So there's that. Let's see, what else? Make sure you talk to a few different lenders. That's really important. We also recommend that with agents too. Make sure you talk with a few different real estate agents. You might click with the first person you meet. Same on the lender side, same on the realtor side. But honestly, you really should talk with a few and make sure that you resonate with the right person. Make sure you trust them. Make sure you have a sense of trust, and make sure they've got a good reputation. Look up their reviews and their testimonials and ask around. And make sure that, you're working with the right advocate. You're building a team, and your team is there for you, and make sure you've got the right team in place for you. So there's that. What else? Let's see. I'm going to talk about right brain, left brain for a minute. Sometimes when you're working with people or a person, you pick up pretty quickly whether are they more logical and rational, or are they more emotional and maybe spontaneous. And being a little bit both is really smart. It's important that your place resonates with you. That's an emotional aspect of it. You love it, you feel it, you get excited about the location. Some of the some of the color palette that's already there is great for you. But also make sure it's a rational decision. Does it work for your short-term needs, your long-term needs? Does it fit with your goals? Does it fit within your budget? Is it in the right location that you planned, or are you just completely taking a stage left? So that's what we're here for, again, is to make sure that, hey, you said that these were important to you, and we're trying to remind you of that. Maybe we break those rules, and maybe it's important that we do. But our job is to make sure to try and fulfill your goal and make sure that we guide you for the best possible outcome for you and your house and your home. So being too emotional, being too logical, being too rational. Sometimes either or can be a little bit of a detriment. So make sure you kind of ride the middle. Think of it emotionally and rationally. What else? This is probably my last one, and I'll make sure to let you get on with your day. But I would say that the last missed opportunity is renting too long. Renting a home is great, and it's wonderful to help you plant yourself and get established and build your credit. But renting for too long, when you have the opportunity to purchase, it's a missed opportunity to build your wealth portfolio, is what happens. Right now, we're experiencing about 15% year over year yield in value and value in real estate, and yield in the rate of growth. And so that yield is missed opportunity for every year that you're renting. And let's put that money in your your house bank account, your savings account. It's a capital investment. It's an asset. And it's also a roof over your head. So it's operational. It's when you're paying rent, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. When you're paying your own mortgage, you're paying your own mortgage. And that house becomes a big step toward building your wealth portfolio. And it's a beautiful thing to help somebody start that. And it launches them into their next home and into their next home and into their next home. The equity that you get in a home anymore is growing very quickly. Like I said, about 15% year over year right now in the Grand Valley. So that's huge. That's a lot more than your average bank account, savings account return. So those are some of the missteps or missed opportunities that I would say a buyer can make. And again, go with a trusted real estate advisor, go with a trusted lender. We're here to answer all those questions for you. Give us a shout. So the Christy Reese Group, we're located right downtown. We're on North 5th. For a little while longer, actually, we're getting ready to move our office. This is a spoiler alert. If you haven't heard this yet, we are moving our offices. We're growing. We're bursting at the seams. We're moving our offices down to the Bonsai Building at Las Colonias. We are investing in our riverfront, and we're stoked to be a part of the influencer community that's down there, and it's really going to continue to grow. So the Christy Reese Group at the end of March is moving our offices, moving into a bigger space. We're almost already outgrowing that one. So anyway, right now we're downtown. We're on North 5th Street, and 128 North 5th is our address. If you have any questions, feel free to swing in. Our office hours are open during the day. Easier to call us, 970-589-7700, 589-7700. And you can always find us online. We're always awake and happening on the Christy Reese Group. Actually, it's christyreese.com. And christyreese.com, that's our website. All of our listings are on there. You can also search all the listings that are available in Mesa County through our website. And that's what I've got for you. So tune in every Thursday at noon. One of us or two of us or five of us, usually two of us, are hosting Keeping It Real. We're bringing you the latest and greatest from the Valley. And my dog is barking in the background, so it's probably a good time to say thank you. Blessings to you, and I wish you all a wonderful weekend ahead, and I'm just thankful that it's sunny out. Cheers.